Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome, everyone, to Answers for Elders radio network, heard across the USA and on your favorite podcast channel. And, you know, one of the things, the privileges that we get when we work with senior providers and senior living communities is a rare glimpse at what life is like. And we've been working with Skyline Retirement for a while. And Skyline, I went to go visit this community not too long ago. It is absolutely spectacular, and it lives right up on First Hill in the city of Seattle. Spectacular views, floor-to-ceiling windows, lively, vibrant, and it's what's called a life care community, which means once you move in, you'll be taken care of the rest of your life. You don't have to worry about all the things that, you know, may happen if you need more care and how are you going to afford it or anything like that. One of the beauties of a life care community is that once you move in independently, you have an ability to live there throughout your life and know that you're always being cared for. And this rare glimpse today we are going to be able to have is talk to one of Skyline's residents, Mr. Kendall Clark Baker. And Kendall, you have been a charter member of Skyline now for about 15 years, is it not?
Yeah, it'll be 15 years in October.
Wow, Kendall.
And I moved in when it was brand new.
Wow.
Every elevator was an express elevator because no one else was in the building. And
yeah,
everyone could sit around one table at first.
Oh,
and then
my goodness.
2 tables and then 3. And of course, now many tables. Yeah.
Yes. And Kendall, thank you, first of all, for joining our podcast today, because, you know, it's not too often that we get an opportunity. We can maybe talk to staff, we talk to different people, but if somebody's interested in moving into retirement community like yours, they want to know what life is like, and what better opportunity to, you know, just to learn about it from a resident that's been there from day one. So, you know, first of all, Kendall, give me a little bit of background about your, you know, where you came from. You're originally, I think your wife's from Seattle, and how did you get to Seattle to begin with?
My wife was born 3 blocks away in Swedish hospital.
Wow.
And, but I'm from Iowa.
Ah.
So, but we moved here in retirement, in no small part because I was really bringing Sonia home, and we have some adult children and their families living here in Seattle.
Wow. Wow. And that was like how long ago, Kendall?
So we moved here in our retirement in 2004. And then we lived in we bought a home, up here from California, actually, bought a home that we lived in for 5 years.
Amazing.
And, we came here with the intent, with the plan to live in 5 to 7 years, live in a house that we purchased, and then after that time, move into a retirement community. Well, that was our plan, and as it turned out, it was exactly 5 years after we moved.
Amazing.
Ended up selling our house and moving into this new Skyline retirement.
Wow. Wow. And so obviously, what was the consideration for you to move into what's called a life care community?
Well, first of all, even to make the move to a retirement community, because not everybody does that. Of course, Sonia and I are both kind of planners. We plan ahead, and we learned both from our parents, both positive experiences and negative experience, learned from them as we in late years, and I probably especially learned from observing other people over the years. I'm a pastor, a long retired pastor, but I worked with a lot of people, and so oftentimes people would say, my only regret after having moved into a retirement community, our only regret is that we didn't make this move sooner.
Exactly. So that's what I hear all the time too.
Yeah, so that was all part of our background. And then from there we said, well, retirement community, we really like being downtown.
Yeah.
Because we think it's a great place to be when you're aging.
Mm-hmm.
As you
You're
get
so
more
close to healthcare everywhere.
healthcare, the culture, performing
Mm-hmm.
arts, transportation, public transportation. And so we feel a great deal of independence by being able to be downtown.
Oh, yeah. You have so
That's
many
some
choices.
basic steps we went through as we decided to, move into
Mhm.
retirement community.
Yeah. So you picked a life care community. Did you look at other communities before you came to Skyline?
We looked at one in particular. We looked at even at different communities before we settling on Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
We did look cursorily at some other communities, but one other community, downtown Seattle, we were so serious in, we actually signed up for it and paid we're cleared for it. But it was a little early on our 5 to 7 year time frame. And at that time, this other community had a no pet policy, and we had a dog and a cat at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was impossible to think of making a move when our whole family couldn't move.
Sure.
And then Skyline came along and allowed our menagerie could have come with us if they had survived long enough to move in. But
yeah,
the story, yeah.
Yeah. And that's good to know that Skyline is pet friendly. And so many of us, including me, I mean, our pets are important to us. And I wouldn't move anywhere that I couldn't take my babies. So I totally understand that.
I'm looking around right now for my cat that he's
Oh,
off screen somewhere. Very important member of my household right now.
well, yeah, absolutely he is, right? So, Kendall, obviously you came to Skyline and you came to this brand new community. What was it like just being a charter member in this beautiful place? I mean, I'm telling you, it blew me away when I went in there. The life, the activity, the happy faces, all the things that are going on. It was amazing.
Well, there's so much that is good here at Skyline. Has been good for us. I think when we moved in, of course, there were so few people here. We were very conscious. We and the other new residents all of whom were new to us. We were meeting new friends from the very beginning, and we were all very intentional about doing everything we could to create a welcoming, healthy, loving culture, a human culture, because we were aware we were moving into a place that had no history, no culture. And so we were quite intentional about that. And so many of the programs and organizations that we helped to develop, and I think just a spirit of relating to one another, it has really helped to develop a very positive climate.
Right. I spoke to one of your residents earlier, and it reminds me, she told me, and this is probably something that you're explaining too, that the residents very much are a part of the culture. It's like you guys are really involved. You're listened to, it's really about you.
Well, very much so. And then I would add to that the staff, they call them team members here, but the staff and the residents have a good, close, respectful working relationship too. So it goes right through the community at every level.
Yeah. So obviously you moved to Skyline, going back to the background. What made you say yes was it checked all your boxes. Is that correct? Was there anything else that really intrigued you about Skyline?
Well, it checked our boxes in that it was downtown. It had every level of care. That was an important part because our intention was to move to a community where we would never have to move again.
Right.
And that every level of care that one or the other or both of us should require for the rest of our lives would be cared for in this community. Then the life care contract was also very attractive. And because what that really meant for us is that once we knew we could afford to move in,
Right.
then we were confident that we would never be faced with a situation where we couldn't afford to stay here.
Right.
Because that's what the life care contract is that
Mhm.
basically continues at very close to the same cost to us as even as we have moved
Right.
assisted living as we have here
Right.
independently. Yeah.
Right. And Kendall, that I think is so important for people because I think one of the biggest fears of people as they enter senior living is, what if I run out of money? What if I can't afford the care? And then what happens? And I think that's something that really is an amazing thing about being in a life care community, because you don't have to worry about that, do you?
We even have a couple backups on that,
Yeah.
on the addressing the concern about running out of money. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the big backups is that there is a entrance fee,
Yes.
a significant entrance fee. I mean,
Mhm.
it's roughly comparable to probably the cost that people's homes that they
Yeah.
to move into here.
Mm-hmm.
And that entrance fee is, in case of a pinch, if you did run out of it, can be drawn upon. It's almost like money in the bank.
That's incredible.
And then I have to say, this is a very small item, but we also have an annual philanthropic drive called Hearts of Gold, and it designated different categories of donor specified gifts. And one of the categories is emergency relief for residents.
Oh
So
my goodness, that's
a
amazing.
fund that we are developing that people could draw upon in emergency situations.
Wow. Wow. I am looking forward in our next segment to talk to you a little bit about the activities and what life was like for you and your wife. And so, Kendall, will you join me in the next podcast?
I will.
Absolutely. And Kendall and I,
Anymore.
fabulous. We're going to be right back, everyone, right after this.
Okay.
We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.